All right, we're back here on on our feed. We're in the post-game show on episode 116. We have a couple questions. I do want to talk a little bit about the whole idea of what happens with the MLS CBA, right?
Right.
That's going to come up here. And then if you have any more questions, fire them away now, Twitter or in the chat room, or if anybody here live has any question. But real quick, housekeeping type stuff. We are, in theory, back on the show next week because I'm in town next week.
Yep.
And the following week.
Nice.
And then we're into the season. So there's only 2 more Mondays.
2 more.
In theory, before the season starts. Okay. So we'll be here. We'll be on. We have a couple of guests we're working on for the next couple of weeks, I hope. Some of them may be unavailable because of where they are, hopefully, and et cetera. But and then, as always, thank you guys for tweeting out to people, et cetera, and asking them to come on the show.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
very much appreciated.
Yeah,
I mean,
beyond.
we like to have a good time. We like to be the unofficial voice, the kind of off-kilter, off-the-record kind of
the
stuff.
fan/supporter voice.
Right. I mean, go watch No Sadietes. Listen to No Sadietes. They're the ones you really
We don't
want
to watch them.
You don't watch them. But listen to them because we do. I mean, they're great.
Right.
I mean, they are fantastic. So, all right.
Gold standard of
Oh, they are.
podcast.
Yeah,
for-
we don't
for
even
the Sounders,
compare
yeah.
ourselves to them.
No,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, it's not. It's just that we're doing something different.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing since day one.
Yeah,
Not
their
to
interview,
compete.
like Jeremiah's interview with Garth.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're funny because they have a good sense of humor, but they're also digging down into the
Yeah, the
Right,
nitty-gritty,
right,
like,
right.
Good knowledge.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna ask
Definitely,
Garth if he
like,
likes Biggie or
pros.
Tupac.
Right,
you know,
right,
I mean,
right.
but, you know, so.
and tacos.
Yeah,
Carne
tacos.
asada,
Burritos.
chicken.
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
up?
yeah.
Very important questions.
It is important.
Oh, speaking of which, Red Iguana, you have to go to Salt Lake City because oh my God, it was unbelievable.
We were there.
I know
we were there.
I know we were.
But they were like, the line is so long. You go, you really want to
Red
go?
Iguana
I
in
was
Salt
like,
Lake City.
the line is so long.
Their mole was
These
unbelievable.
Don't look at
Everybody
me,
in the
man.
car.
I'm not a food guy.
I know, but everybody in the
This is
car
like just-
was like indirectly saying, "Let's not wait. We don't want to win."
Where was
I'm
this?
like,
In Salt Lake City,
All right. What's the name of it?
Red Iguana.
Red Iguana?
It's a
yeah,
Mexican
it's like the only
restaurant.
decent place.
No, there's Taco Bell.
Oh.
You know what this guy did? You know what this guy did? So he didn't make. So he says, "No, let's not wait." You know.
No, line's
so
too long.
and he didn't say that. Everybody was
Well, let's
like,
still get
everybody
Mexican,
did.
so we'll go to Taco Bell,
The
right?
line was long though. So he drives by. Let's go to this other joint. He literally drives down
2 miles.
completely
On
the
way.
opposite way that we need to go to, and it says there, "Let's Taco Bell. Let's go eat there."
I did. I really did.
Hey,
I did.
I'll get you on a Crunch Wrap Supreme,
was
right?
bad.
yeah.
We didn't stop though.
Do you lose your Mexican card if you actually eat at a Taco Bell? I think they
might.
take it away
The
from
pride-
you. I'm
the
going
pride
to
just
say.
kinda gets
I
bent
don't know.
a
You should
little, huh?
admit to it.
I think at 1 in the morning it doesn't count, but
Anything after midnight is okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anything after midnight is okay.
Okay, yeah.
right.
Fourth meal's acceptable.
Fourth meal.
Because it's just drunk food.
Yeah,
right?
but-
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. You just need sustenance. It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah.
You won't be seeing it on my Snapchat, on my Twitter feed. No.
all right. So
All right.
let's talk about CBA.
CBA.
See, fun. Yeah.
Thoughts, comments,
Is it
questions?
gonna-
I know we've had some discussions, obviously.
Yeah. Alliance Council members.
Alliance Council, but
Garth Lagerway
Don't
came
forget the
in
questions
with.
from the
From the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lagerway came in with Hanauer and.
I wasn't there for that part. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, you missed that. Didn't
I was
you?
in
You came
San
in
Francisco.
late.
No, I was in San
Oh,
Francisco.
you missed it entirely.
Entirely.
All right, well, let me tell you the part
Yeah.
that I can tell you about it that we can talk about online here, because some of it they said don't talk about, which is
Yeah.
something they do with the council. Although with like 25 or 30 people in there, it's going to leak out. Sooner or later. But what they said was basic. It was well. Here's what cracks me up: is they came in and they wanted to answer the question about is Lagerway's term going to be voted on in 2 years, which would be 4 years
Oh, yeah.
after
Right,
the
yeah.
last time we had an election on
Good
GM,
question.
or will it be 4 years because that's when he got hired?
Which ones do you guys recommend?
That's a whole separate topic.
Oh, okay.
But it was funny because Adrian's like, well, why don't we talk a little bit about how Alliance Council came to be and you know, and so this is the thing, and this reads this way and reads this way. And like the first 2 or 3 questions, ignored all that, and they were all about soccer. What's going on with soccer? Are we going to have a CBA? Are we going to have this? Are we going to have that?
Right.
And I told Lagerway, I said, you see that? That's Seattle for you. That's the way Seattle is because, you know,
wanna know the
Worried about
nitty-gritty.
soccer.
we want to know
right.
about soccer, right?
Yeah.
But basically what they said was, we don't know. A, we don't know, and B, even if we did know, we wouldn't
Can't
tell you
really
because
say
we're going to
it,
get
right.
fined a couple
Right.
$100,000 by the league office. But it kind of sounded like the owners, from their point of view, had their meetings, figured out their negotiating points, and then the negotiating team is just kind of doing it. because Adrian says they don't give us updates on a daily basis. They keep us surprised once in a while of how things are going. He says, but basically you guys know just about as much as we know because they don't want to get out. And the players are doing the same thing. So the big question is, are the players really willing to strike over free agency? And from the players' point of view, and is the league willing to lock them out if they don't have a contract from their point of view?
Right.
If I was a player, I probably would.
Well, the fact that you have top down, top to bottom, and bottom to top, people talking about when you have Keane saying that he's on board, that
That's pretty
brings
huge.
a different weight to my mind that he's really they're gonna do it. That they're willing to step out there.
Right.
Now it could be lip service, it could be whatever, and the guys on the lower end of the scale, they're going to be hurt by this more so than like when you look at the teachers going on strike. They have years and years of putting money into the trust or into their funds to be able to strike. These guys don't have that, right? So these guys aren't going to get paid.
They're playing in essence, living paycheck to paycheck in a
Yeah,
way.
right.
Right.
Question:
Absolutely.
if they strike, would that affect S2?
See, that's
No.
the thing. Is it's a little convoluted in the way that it works. What I was told was that it varies slightly depending on what the contract terms were for the player, and also for the league. So it's kind of a weird.
Like Brad Evans
Depends on the
couldn't
language of
play
the contract.
for
Right.
S2.
Right.
None of the MLS guys will play down.
No, they can't come
What
down.
I
Right.
think it'll probably wind up happening is if they strike or get locked out, that USL will, USL is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
USL
Right.
is that's
Right.
Separate
their
entities,
team.
right.
season's
They don't
gonna
have a
happen.
players union.
But I mean, this is like
But your roster's going to
2.5
be affected.
weeks out.
Right.
I mean,
Right. So what it'll be is the MLS guys that would get loaned down to USL, they just won't be there.
Won't be there.
Because
Right.
they're
They can't
on
play.
MLS. Right.
Right.
So
so the
USL
majority
teams.
of the USL guys will still play. S2 will still have.
And so that might lead to an opportunity for 4 or 5 of these guys
Absolutely.
that
Yeah.
would have been
Yeah.
cut from USL.
Right.
Right.
But now they're gonna play because there's no MLS guys taking those spots. They don't need them.
Man.
Because if you ask me, I mean, it was 4 years ago. It was 2010, right? And they went to what 4 days before or 3 days before the season started, and then they signed it.
Right.
We're either going to get to that same 3-4 days before.
Well, and they
but-
brought in a moderator for this CBA
Right.
just recently.
It's
so
the same
hopefully-
guy too. I
That's
think,
a good
right?
sign
Yeah,
from
same,
both.
Same
guy.
mediators
So
last
it-
time.
So it's a good.
It's a good sign,
It's a good
but-
sign. We haven't seen headway made from it.
What
but
it
it's a
means
good
is
sign.
nobody's giving up and walking away.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
That's what it means. So that's good.
I just don't. I don't want to see it. I mean, I support the players fully because I want them to have the rights and the ability to move.
Right.
There's some things there that are pretty basic things that we see in every other sport.
Of course,
Right.
But we remember what happened with baseball in the mid '90s
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
basketball.
I mean, it's kind of
and
like
the,
Yeah,
the
but if
growth
it-
that we've enjoyed.
But if a salary cap is a salary cap and it's a hard cap, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
You-
matter,
you-
right.
The teams, so, but there's a lot of people starting to say, look, the real story behind this is not what the league is putting
Single
out, which is
entity.
we're afraid of bidding wars. It's
Right.
really about single entity.
Absolutely.
And if they allow teams to operate as independent
Like every
units,
other sports league in
this team versus this team, then the courts look at that and they go, look, you guys are not one organization working
Right.
together with different units, but this one happens to be in California, this one's in
So they
Washington.
worried about that because of what happened with previous leagues in the '70s.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been
folding.
legal cases that if a league is operating as not really single entity, then they lose their status, and
Right.
that entails a whole bunch of stuff that they don't want to get into.
It leaves the window open.
Yeah, they make
Right.
a lot of money off single entity.
Of course,
right now.
of
So
course.
because it gives them so much control over,
yeah,
over
definitely.
everything.
Definitely.
Well, it's the whole sum thing versus them, and what is sum? Soccer United Media or whatever, or Soccer United Marketing or whatever. it is.
SUM.
SUM.
Yeah.
That whole part of it, where MLS is supposedly losing $100 million,
Right.
but sum is very profitable. And
Yeah, SUM makes a ton of money, and the same. It's essentially the same thing.
Same
MLS
thing.
owners
Right.
own SUM.
Exactly right. So
Yeah,
that part of it kind of
like SUM has the rights to the national team, right?
Right.
So all the games, the national team games that get put on, SUM is who promotes those. They get to sell the rights for
So
the
if they sell the
TV.
rights to like Univision will pay USM.
Right.
Yes, SUM is a marketing organization that does all the promotion for the U.S. national team. And dig this, they also do the promotion for the Mexican national team within the United States.
yes.
Really?
Which is why,
You
if
have
you
so
look
many
at it
games.
historically, the Mexican national team over like the last 5 or 8 years
Oh, dude, it's
has
huge.
played more games in the U.S. than they've played in Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes. Yep.
because in the U.S.
money, man.
they
So
can
much
fill
more
those
money.
stadiums
So much more
at $60,
money.
$80, $100 a ticket.
Yep.
In Mexico, you can't get that much money
No,
because the
right.
economy's not strong enough. Yeah, San Antonio, they sold out. Yeah, San Antonio, they're selling out. So. Yeah,
Money,
it's
money,
there's
money, money,
and so
man.
so
It always
that's
comes
going
down to
on
business.
behind the scenes, and the players are looking at that
Sucks, dude.
going, well, yeah, maybe you're not making gobs of money on MLS, but you guys are still making gobs of money somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I like the comment, if you can't be a player, learn to be a lawyer. Best
Yeah.
thing our new GM has ever taught us.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So yeah, will it happen? I don't know, man. I'm really crossing my fingers.
I have too, because I mean, shoot. So we all know my story, right? That I was not a soccer fan until we got our team.
Right,
And I was
right.
there when Drew Carey raised the 12th man flag, and et cetera, right? So
I was there too.
And then 2009, we had this season, and then we get to March or like February, and all of a sudden I'm like, and at this point I am now like mainlining soccer, right? I'm just like, I'm hooked beyond belief, and then all of a sudden I'm like, we're gonna strike.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I was like devastated, like almost like I wanted to like crawl in a ball, like go tears, because I'm like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
And then of course then we saw it, everything got done in the last minute. So hopefully it'll happen, but I don't have a high level of confidence. Just because the free agency sticking point is what worries me. So
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of posturing. Hopefully, they can come to some sort of agreement. We can just watch soccer.
Well, you know, I think we're not us not hearing anything like 2.5 weeks out, not knowing yet.
Right.
It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like anything, I'm worried that it'll hurt the progress that they've made since 2009. Like we talked about, like how much everything has grown. Everything's positive. Europe's and Mexico. CMLS now has a potential here as like, okay, they're legit.
And if this happens, all of a sudden you look like a bunch of...
You lose it again.
Yeah,
right.
you look like a clown
all
car,
that,
right?
all of that reputation you built kind of takes a shot. And you can see the quality wanting to come into the league. You got
Like so.
And the other thing
you got Josie and Mix and all these players that are
right,
coming.
but those guys don't know. Like Mix was trying to come a couple years ago, and he didn't understand why he couldn't pick his team.
Right. That's a huge thing. And Hercules, I believe, made a comment regarding the same
Hercules
thing.
has basically said the same thing.
Yeah.
That's really one of the biggest factors of why he never came back to MLS.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
because I think over the last several years, if he'd have played in MLS the whole time, he'd have owned it.
Dude, he would have been.
Yeah.
I would have hated to see him play against the Sounders, though.
I
I know.
And he loves to troll us.
God, he is the best
he
troll.
does.
He's a great troll.
He's so good at
fun,
it.
even though he's
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Ramondo. Ramondo's got pretty good Twitter.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, so we're coming kind of to the end here. Now, the kind of the natural ending here. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to say, promote, talk about, etc.?
Go out and watch S2. Support them. Show them some love. Write them on Twitter. Get to know these players. Give them your undivided attention and support. Show them what it's like to be part of the Sounders family.
Yeah.
It means a lot to them.
You bought tickets, right? For
It's
the
just-
Sounders too?
Yeah, season ticket.
And you bought season tickets for Sounders
Absolutely,
too?
yeah.
And I did. You buy tickets? Yeah, you did too.
And I'm a owner.
Part of it.
Yeah,
Well, we all are. Yeah,
little
I knew we were all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I couldn't remember if you bought tickets as well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
But
they
yeah,
put automatic
it's-
debit on my account.
Yeah, I know, mine too. I know.
It's part of the allure of this team, though, is the community and the support. So go out and show these guys what it's all about.
Yeah.
Our
You know what I
couple,
mean?
we
It's actually it's an interesting challenge. How do you get fans to once they have the roster to start learning the guys
Right.
and knowing the guys, and that's where you're not going to hear it on the mainstream big media because they don't have enough time and
I
space in
know
the paper.
someplace you could do it.
But where could you do it?
There's this thing called sonar feed.
Sonar feed. Huh.
Sounds expensive.
It sounds expensive.
Well,
But wait, there's more.
For 3 easy payments, and one really hard one,
do you like beer?
Yeah.
Then come on the show.
Come on the show. We'll buy you a beer. You guys should. Maybe the Sonar Feed listeners and watchers should have like a chip in.
A little Kickstarter type.
Yeah, a
deal,
little Kickstarter, a little GoFundMe, a little Indiegogo.
There's actually a thing called Patreon.
Right, where they can buy the first brew for the guests.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I've done the template on that.
Yeah.
Looking at that idea because it is something that would be fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and this is actually I'm just off the cuff here, but that would be a great idea because we love that because we love the future. We love the idea of getting the kids out there or the youth or the unknown and having them do it. Because you're right, KGR does a great job. At least some people don't agree, but I think they've done a great job of covering soccer to a certain level. Maybe great's the wrong word, but they've done a very good job of covering soccer. Yeah. But they're never going to cover the S2 probably. I mean, they're probably not going to cover S2 as a general.
They just don't have the. Yeah.
Q13's done a fantastic job.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah, they were there today.
Yeah,
Q13
but
was
they're
out
not
there.
going to focus a lot on it every week.
No.
So that you do need an outlet for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Dude,
that's why we're all there.
Because it is, and it's like we're the bridge right before we get to.
This is the future of your club. If you love the Sounders, you need to have a vested interest in S2 because this is what's going to be supplementing your club.
Right. The next Yedlin that rockets up to the Premiership is probably going to come through S2 in the future.
Absolutely, and to watch a player grow and develop means so much more to you than just seeing them at their prime.
Right. Somebody that was out there today might play here at S2 and be so good that next year the Sounders cut a higher paid guy because they're just going to turn a job over to him. And a year after that, the guy's, like all-star or something.
Like Pineda?
Low blow!
No, but
there's so many other players.
But you weren't paying attention 10 minutes ago when I talked about Pineda, and how do you bring more of those kind of guys into the fold with S2?
We mentioned how there are a lot of international talent.
Yeah. I think that's your one or two older guys that is maybe trying to play in that last job, but if he can't, he could still teach all the young guys that.
Because I love Pineda as well.
But Gonzalez, he's looking at staying here, though, isn't he?
No, but he's a dad. He has to.
Yeah, but that's one of those things, too, is those players are going to retire eventually. You got a Zach Scott, you got some of these guys older in age. You're going to need that new generation to take over.
We're old. We're old by MLS standards.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Sounders are old.
So, I mean, this is if there's any reason to follow S2, it's because these are going to be the guys they're going to look to replace those players.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, but there's some age issues on the Sounders. That's Correa. That was a great signing right there because he's looking like the guy that can hopefully step up behind Leo. But then that's the question: is if the guy isn't getting any playing time at all with the first team, does he get sent down to play for S2?
It's not a waste of a signing, per se. I mean, not like it's happening.
Last year would have been a waste potentially.
Yeah, Leo was still really solid last year.
If you got a player where you see his career only being 2 or 3 more years, you can bring in a quality replacement, give him time on S2, keep him sharp, develop him a little bit more, and then bring him in to replace him, without having to go and worry about does he sign a contract with another team or anything.
Absolutely. So. I have never, ever attempted, nor will I attempt to sell cookies to a player. Should they want to buy any, I'm not going to stop them, but I have never done that.
If they come to you
just
first.
So you know.
Yeah, right.
That's not what I'm trying to, that is not what I'm doing here. Yeah, I didn't say coaches, but you got there.
There's a question.
Question from SSFC Rumors. Any idea what the season tickets are at for S2 and or the max attendance at Starfire this year?
I think that they're saying the max attendance is
4,000.
No, a little bit less. If you count all the seats, I think it's around 3,500.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that.
Because like the 4,000 is the I'm good, thank you. Is the
with
back
the standing room and people on the berm over there on the far side.
We're eating Samoas now.
Yeah. So. Some of that might not be available as well because the ground is going to get broken for the new stand project. Right. So that'll take up that space right behind the goal there.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the season ticket at? I don't know. I know it's at least several hundred. Yeah. It might be around 1,000 already, which is a really good dent.
When I was getting my seat back purchased,
yeah. What'd they say?
Somewhere between
1,900
and 2,000. For season tickets.
That's an unofficial number.
That's the biggest number I've heard, but that's pretty awesome. Jesse in the audience says 1,900, so that
would be great.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
but
really great.
You know, we wanted that baby sold out.
Oh yeah.
And they're cheap tickets and fun soccer.
It's going to be some of the
ECS
best
is going to light it up.
you could buy.
Yeah, Wheeler and the guys from ECS are going to bring that energy to the game.
And I talked to the folks over at Gorilla.
Yeah.
Because they gave us some things for our for the Center Feed tournament, and they're talking supposedly as well. So,
yeah, they've got a little program they're doing, and of course their thing is more of a service community sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's up the alley of some of what we're doing.
No,
so,
I got my own.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing.
Everyone's excited about it.
Yeah.
But what Sean's doing, I mean, he's putting in work.
Yeah, Wheeler.
That guy works hard at his
Good
job.
job, buddy. Absolutely.
Yep. And then
he's been, and the best thing is he's been real accessible. If you got any questions or anything, and if he doesn't know, he'll find out for you. That's
slow clap, buddy. Slow clap for you, Wheeler.
So It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be
cool.
a lot of fun.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we definitely want to have.
It's turned into an S2 episode tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But
That's all right.
But that's,
That's what it's about, though.
yeah, that's what's focused.
We're talking
right
about
now.
what's
Yeah,
relevant with our
absolutely.
boys, and right now S2 is like it, man.
Yeah.
It is.
You finally get to see a product on the field. We've been talking about it for months.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, we finally got to see a product on the field, and it was everything we'd hoped for.
I can't
They
wait for
lived up to it.
Thursday and or Saturday.
You got to go watch.
So I can go watch it. I'm
it's
so
a good,
excited.
it's a
it'll be
good
fun.
product. Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, I think we're going to end the show though, so we can kind of wrap it up because I've got
Okay.
a flight in about 6 hours. Well, I guess 8 hours.
Brutal.
8 hours.
But yeah, thank you guys very much for joining us.
Yeah, guys.
We
This
do
was
want to
awesome.
have
Absolutely, man.
you guys.
Thanks for having us on.
We do want to have the trucks back on.
Hopefully, you get
Do another
Absolutely,
interview.
yes.
Once
We'd
it's
love to get
right.
on and
Once
talk.
time it's right.
Well,
you
we
know?
got some news that's going to be coming out here pretty soon. And
pretty much
actually,
every
our
holidays
marketing
and-
guy, we actually have a marketing guy now,
Okay.
and we're going to do something.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
So we'll talk offline about that, but we're gonna get you guys back on.
Yep.
Do that. Andrew, I know if you're watching or not, but if not, we love Andrew back on.
He's tied up tonight. I talked to him today. But
Okay.
he's-
But if not
If
tonight,
he watches, thank you for coming out today and talking to us and,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
sharing some
But the idea is that
conversation. So.
we would love to be involved in whatever way we can.
That's awesome.
Whether it's as the future voice of
Yep.
your
That'd
S2.
be awesome too.
Plug. It's the plug.
I would take
Just saying.
announcer. You guys could be the broadcasters.
Oh,
I'll
okay,
take
announcer.
announcer.
Okay, all
yeah.
Did you apply for it?
I'm going to. I got to put it in.
Does your job give you the flexibility to do it?
It does.
See, I would have applied
Sorta.
for it,
I could
except
make it
I'm
work,
pretty
yeah.
sure they wouldn't hire me because of what I'm doing already, and then I don't have the flexibility because
Yeah, I
Friday
would
nights I got
love
to
to
work
do
a lot.
it,
But I
yeah.
was like, that would be sweet.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
10 hours a
Well, and I
week.
get to be in the booth with these chuckleheads, so it'd be
Oh,
great.
That would be the-
If we get through the cut,
yeah.
if we get through the cuts, a lot
I
of
think
talent
you
out
guys-
there.
Yeah.
I think we were used as marketing social media because of how many people we know. That's why our
That's
names
probably
are out there.
that's probably the case. That's probably the case. Either that or only 2 people applied and you guys were the first tape they got.
There were only 2 people who actually did all the roles. And we were one of them. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for watching. Paul, thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet.
Kyle, thank you very
anytime.
much. As
Anytime.
always,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Needless to-
Yep.
Anytime it works out, you're welcome on the show.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
No question.
We'll Wonka out one last time, but thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah.
Because he broke the rules. What rules? We didn't see any rules, did we, Charlie? Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. You lose the contract signed by him. You get washed. You get sterilized. You get nothing but pay. You lose. Wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You get wrong, sir, wrong. I said wrong, sir, wrong. You lose. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Good day, nothing. You get 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 nothing. You get nothing. You get nothing. Clear as crystal. You lose. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Black and white, all there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Pax mentis incendium gloria culpum memo bis punitor della etc. You're a swindler. Wrong, sir. Wrong. You're a cheat.